Australian visa applications and Filipino family. Filipino family members can be helpful and supportive in a visa application for a Filipino girl, or they can be a major stumbling block to your happiness. This is one of those matters we would all rather not deal with if we didn't have to. But if you want to be together in Australia as a couple badly enough, then you will have to be prepared to do whatever it takes. Influence of family on Filipino girls. Family influences us all, no matter where we are. As I start writing this, I'm thinking how Australians can also have their relationships influenced by family members, but not really to the same extent and not in the same way. Probably because Australian sponsors are usually older and more independent, and because parents especially tend to have more of a controlling influence over their adult children in the Philippines compared to Australia. And it's not just parents. Older sisters and aunties can wield a similar authority. What it means is that most Filipinos are used to running everything they do by family members to seek their guidance, and if they don't seek opinion, it's usually given to them anyway. Now, older family members are rarely shy in voicing their opinion, and a lack of knowledge about that area rarely subdues them. Now, the girl expects the advice and guidance and is expected to follow that advice. This is how Filipino families work. Now, I'm not going to say much about influence on relationships, as this isn't the place for it. For relationship matters, please have a look at our sister site, which is www.filipinawives.com.au. I'm looking here at how families can help or hinder a visa application for an Australian Filipino couple. Now, the point is that it is part of Filipino culture to live in an interdependent way with family, and this continues throughout your life. An older sister who would boss their little sister around when she was 5, she will do the same when she's 25 or 35 or 45. Parents and aunties will do the same. Yes, the influence will reduce as the girl gets older, especially if she's lived and worked away and possibly worked overseas, but don't expect it to go as fast as it would for a 25-year-old Australian. Now, how can Filipino family cause visa problems? I suppose you have two areas you need to be concerned about. One is where the family are just accustomed to giving guidance and taking charge, but have no negative or selfish motivation. The other is where they do have selfish motivations. Both are difficult to deal with. One of the issues here is that it is usual for older people to know everything about everything, even if it's completely new to them. They are older, therefore they are the experts, and they will not be shy about expressing their opinions strongly, and they will do so about all aspects of the visa application. Okay, here are some of the issues. Should you use a migration agent or Jing's travel in the local town? Or should you use no migration agent because it costs too much? Now, Jing may be an old friend, or maybe somebody else recommended them, or maybe it's just because they are local. Now, whether or not Jing has any skills or knowledge won't come into it. Should you list details of kids or previous travel, etc.? We've seen visas refused because somebody said to leave the details off and not to even tell the Australian sponsor because she was convinced he wouldn't accept her with kids. Now, sadly for them, the embassy was clever and found out. Overseas travel tends to be found out too, so always tell the truth. Now, should kids be included in the visa or left behind? Now, I've written a number of blog articles about this. Feel free to look them up. Our families can get very possessive about kids, especially in the case of single mums where chances are the grandparents played a significant role in their upbringing. They also tend to be opinionated about where they should finish their schooling. The opinions are not always what's best for the kids in the long run. Be aware of that. Now, advising to use a fixer when there are mistakes with official documents. Sometimes the aunties or parents were the ones who caused the problem with fake documents in the first place. and will insist that there is no problem using that method. But other times they will suggest speedy but dishonest fixing methods. This was very normal in the past, but the Australian immigration just doesn't work that way. Not understanding urgency or you wish to be together. But many Filipinos marry someone they grew up with in the local town, and they often go absolutely nowhere after marrying. They stay right there, and many marry the person who made them pregnant, and they don't necessarily have especially loving relationships, and therefore they don't quite get why you're in a hurry to be together. Now the result is they may throw obstacles in the path of the girl who should be getting on a plane to Australia to meet a deadline, or they may pressure her to return and visit and stay for long periods of time, a little too soon or a little too often. And this can cause you to breach visa conditions, plus it can make it hard to settle into a new family unit in Australia. Wanting financial benefit. This is the primary negative and selfish motivation. If the family want to benefit by milking you for all they can get, then you have a big problem. It's an insult to your value, and it's an insult to your dignity, and you should never tolerate it. Now, we had some issues with my wife's family when I first arrived on the scene. They were used to controlling her. They didn't want her marrying me. They didn't want her to go to Australia. They were generally used to bossing her around and her doing as she was told. Then this Aussie with his own ideas turned up. I haven't changed much. She told me she wanted to make everyone happy, and I told her, you can't, you need to choose. You need to make your wife or wife-to-be number one, and she must do the same with you. You can't please everyone, and no one should expect otherwise of you or of her. How to deal with this, talk it over, and decide between the two of you what matters and stick to it. The family will soon get used to it because they have no choice, and inside themselves they will know you're right. Thank you. This video was brought to you by Down Under Visa, who specialise in visas for Australian Filipina couples. Please visit our website and complete a free visa assessment form, and please watch some of our other videos. Thank you.